Well, I don't know what happened, but I'm live now, so I don't know what's going on. Please let me know if you can see me. The other stream I started just stopped. All right, so I hope everyone will pop over here. That was so weird. Oh, goodness gracious. So, the original stream that I just started, for some reason, it just stopped. So I'm thinking what happened is we lost electricity and then my generator kicked in. And so now I'm live again. Sorry about that, everybody. We have this crazy storm going on, and it started and then it ended and then it started again and now it's blowing again. And so, yeah, I think we lost electricity and we're on generator now. So I don't want to make this crazy or anything, but we're still going to have some fun, okay? How funny. Woo! I was going to tell you the most funniest story about the storm on Friday. My grandkids and I were out shopping and stuff, and I needed to run by the post office. And I came out and the raindrops were just huge. And I could not see in front of my car at all, not even a foot. And so my grandson said, well, let's just run over to my house because it was really close. And so we ran over there. We stayed over there about 15 minutes. We were in the car. We weren't running on foot. But anyway, we ended up waiting there about 20 minutes. The storm passed. We get back in the car to head over to my house, and my granddaughter, who's 10, she says, good job not freaking out, Grandma or Oma. So I am not going to freak out today. We are still going to have us some fun, okay? I don't know what that was all about, but we're going to keep on keeping on. You did kind of miss out on the beginning of the intro, though, because I really like my intro. It's okay, no problem. Well, I'm glad to see you all here. Alrighty, now, what we have planned to talk about today is a new yarn from Premier, and then I'm also going to answer a couple questions, and then I'll tell you what's new this week at Posh Pooch Designs. But before we do that, I do want to tell you about something that I'm going to do tomorrow. All right, my grandson, a lot of you have been thinking about him and praying about him. And so, you know, he's out of the hospital. His lungs are great. The doctor cleared him. Those that didn't know, his lungs collapsed. He was in the hospital for a couple of weeks, which was killing him because he loves band. He plays in jazz band. He plays in the regular band. And he made marching band again this year. And so what I'm going to do to kind of help get the burden off, some of it off his folks, is I'm going to do a fundraiser starting tomorrow in my Ravelry shop. And I'm going to make a video and put it out there tomorrow, but the code will be marching band, just the word marching band. One word, pushed together, no capitals. And if you go to my Ravelry shop, all of my patterns, whether they're cheapy patterns or expensive patterns, if you put that code in, you'll get 25% off. And all the money for the next week that comes in through my Ravelry shop is going to go to help support my grandson's marching band fund. And I want to be real clear here, not for the whole Mustang marching band, but just my grandson. Anyway, that'll start at midnight tonight. All right. But I wanted to let you know to be looking for that, because you'll be able to get some patterns cheaper with 25% off and support my grandson, okay? Anyway, let's get right to our stuff we're going to do today. Now, I also made a little video with all that information that I'm going to post tomorrow morning, okay? But it does start at midnight tonight. I just started it that way. And it's going to run for a week. So, anyway, we need to clink in. Are you sure it's Tuesday? I feel like I'm having a Monday. All right, clinkety, clink, clink, clink. I think I need more a little stronger in my coffee this morning than just coffee. All righty. I'm going to click over to my other camera real quick and show you what we have going on here. Now, this is a new yarn from Premier Yarn. A lot of people have been talking about it. It's a really interesting yarn. It is a medium weight, number 4, Premier Just Yarn. Does that sound familiar? Remember those yarns we got at the Dollar Tree that were small called Just Yarn? It's the same thing. They took 8 of those skeins and put them into one. And you can buy this at the Premier website. And I believe this is on sale this week. The fruit yarns are on sale this week, and one other yarn, I can't remember. They have some sales going on. So if you want to buy some of this, make sure you click that link that I put underneath this video so that I get credit for you going through there. Now, I love this yarn a lot because it's to me, the softness of it reminds me of the Red Heart with Love. Okay, and I bought these 4 colors just so I can check them out. And the reason that I do it this way, when you buy white, sometimes it's softer than some of these others that have more dyes in them. And the more dye they put in them, the stiffer they seem to get. Well, these are all really soft. And I love the colors that I chose. This one is lemon. This one is pink. Go figure. This one is sea glass. And this one is white. All right, let's talk about it a little bit. Premier Just Yarn, 875 yards, 14 ounces. So that's 8 of those small Just Yarns we got at the store, at the Dollar Tree. It is 100% acrylic. And the nice thing about this is just the way that it feels. I mean, I really do like the way that it feels. All right, let's roll this around here. Tested and approved against 350 plus harmful substances. And that's really neat to know because there are a lot of dyes and things that they use when they make these yarns that can be harmful for us. And so it is really good that they've done that for us. All right, it's a medium weight, number 4. It suggests using an eye hook, which I use an H if I want medium 4 to be tight. But for your basic stitches, I like to use an eye hook 5.5 millimeter, which is nice. And if you want to knit it, you can. 5 millimeter knitting needles, knitting hooks, knitting needles. Machine wash, warm, tumble dry. Don't iron it, you know. And it says buy enough of the same dye lot to complete your project. And your dye lot is always going to be somewhere around the number of the color, the UPC, and usually it's either above it or below it on most yarns. And dye lots are important because I've bought yarn that I thought looked exactly the same, and then I stitch it up and the shades are off. And because I do them in big lots, and so they want to make sure you get one from the same lot so that your project is bigger. Yes, these are definitely bigger than the Dollar Tree. These are 14 ounces. And this skein is 8 of those small skeins from Dollar Tree. All right. And right now, I've not seen these in any stores. That doesn't mean they won't get them because they are new. I've only seen them at the Premier Yarn website. Okay. And let me talk to you a little bit about that because I've had some questions about what's in it for me to be a Premier Yarn affiliate. Anything that you purchase that you go through my link, which the link is down below this video, I get 10% of the profit. It's not a lot, but I look at it this way. It's enough to help me replenish my yarn. And so that's why I went ahead and became a Premier affiliate. Now, there are other affiliates that I have been contacted by. I got kind of hurt with one other one that I worked with the way they handled me, and so I just sort of wasn't doing it anymore. But I absolutely love Premier Yarns, and I loved them even before I became an affiliate. So, yeah. Yeah, see, Jolene says she's had that happen with dye lots. You know, I have even bought the same dye lot, and that happened. And that's just, it's probably been labeled wrong. So just be real careful about that. You want to make sure you get the whole dye lot. I do really love these. I think they're really soft, and I love that you get that much at once. I've got 4 skeins here, and that's enough for me to make a nice big blanket. Or even make several baby blankets. Okay, so yeah, that's our Premier Yarn of the week that I wanted to tell you about. If I keep going like this, I've got a hair that's tickling my back. So just ignore that. I said, I think I'm having a Monday. Alrighty. Now, I wanted to answer a couple of questions. I get this a lot, and so I wanted to go ahead and answer this question. There's that hair that's bugging me. I didn't make it into my ponytail. Anyway, I get questions a lot, and it kind of came up with this particular pattern. It's over here that I made, that I put out yesterday, and we'll talk more about that pattern later. But it is made with an acrylic yarn, and I used this yarn here. This is Yarn Bee Soft Secret. It's like Simply Soft. It's a thinner medium weight number 4. It's very lightweight. And to me, I consider this a summer yarn. It is acrylic, but it is lightweight. And I consider it a summer yarn. And I get a lot of questions about, can I use acrylics in the summer? Or do I have to use cotton? Or can I use cotton in the winter? And something that you need to understand is that even though I have designed this particular pattern in acrylic, you can make it in cotton. The key to making it come out right is making sure that you use the same weight of yarn. Okay, I get lots of questions when I make something with the light 3, can I use a 4? You can, but it's not going to come out the same. And if I make it with a 4, can I use a 3? You can, but it's not going to come out the same. And you need to understand that. And a lot of times you can go up or down a hook size, and that will help with that. But, you know, unless, yeah, there is a snake behind me. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. I wondered if anybody would notice. Thank you for noticing. Anyway, you can adjust that a little bit by going up or down hook sizes when you go with thinner or thicker yarns. But I've had so many people send me an email and they'll say, I've done your pattern twice and it's not coming out right. So I'll email them back and say, you know, give me a little more information. What's not working? And then they go, I changed to a 4 weight from a 3 weight. I went down a hook size. Or I'm using, you know, up a bit bigger, thicker size yarn, or you're not using the same hook or same yarn, and then get upset because it doesn't come out right. And when you do that, the biggest way to get it to come out right is to measure as you go. And if I give you those multiples, depending on what the pattern is, use the multiples that are on there. Okay, but really, if you're not using the same weight of yarn and the same hook, it's not that my pattern's not coming out right, it's that you're not using the right tools. You know, so that's kind of the question I wanted to answer. Also, any pattern that is a cotton pattern that is made in a medium weight number 4 cotton yarn can be done up or stitched up in acrylic yarn. And I know that's weird and you think, well, but it can. The key is getting it to use the same crochet hook and the same weight yarn. Now, sometimes we crochet differently, of course. I tend to be a little bit looser in my stitches. You might be a little bit tighter. And that's when you have to adjust your hook size in order to get it. And that's where, again, measure, measure, measure. You know, I'm big on measuring. I get people all the time that tell me, I've never measured anything. Well, that's okay if that works for you. But the key to getting anything, especially a garment, to fit is to measure. All right, so I just wanted to answer that question, kind of going around it there. Okay, so let's talk about what happened this week at Posh Pooch Designs. Now, I put a video out this week, and I really enjoyed reading all your answers, okay? The video I put out last week was called, Which Comes First, the Yarn or the Pattern? And the question is, do you pick out a pattern and then go get the yarn for it? Or do you go to your yarn stash and go, I really like that variegated, or I really like that or this, and go and find a pattern to go with that? I do a little of both. Sometimes I'll make up a design and I'll try to find the perfect pattern or the perfect yarn for it. But I really found your answers really interesting because I would say most of you said you're both. Some of you said, no, I'm going to use all the yarn in my stash, and I'm trying, but boy, is it hard when I have so much yarn. So anyway, I just want to tell you how much I enjoy the fact that you watch the this and that videos and that you comment, because I do learn a lot from your comments, and I do learn a lot from what other people have to say. And when we do these this or that questions, there are no right or wrong questions. It's just all what we think and our opinions. And so I kind of like that, because I can, like I said, I can learn from you and you can learn from me. Okay, so working and lurking. That's funny, Becky. You must be at work. Anywho. Now, what did we do this week? Well, we made, on Friday, I called this the mashup hat. And this is the hat. And I put it on her because I wanted you to see the top of her head. We started with the foundation double crochet. And the reason we did that is we want this to have some stretch to it. Somebody asked me, how come you just didn't use a hairband? And that would have made the hole littler, which I have some patterns like that. But I wanted this one to be bigger so I could put my big old messy bun through there, because you know I like to wear them. So what we did is we mash up the brim of our bucket hat, the side of one of our sun hats, and the top of one of my messy bun hats. And we turned it into the messy bun bucket summer hat. And I love this hat. Now, this is made in acrylic yarn. You say, oh, I live down deep Texas. I don't want an acrylic hat. Then make it out of cotton. Just use a medium weight number 4. And it'll work just fine. And I do model it in the video if you want to see how it looks on a human's head. I love this hat. I've already worn it several times, gotten compliments. I had one person ask me, how'd you make that hole in the top? And so I got to explain how I did it to them. So that was kind of fun. And so that's our mashup messy bun bucket summer hat. I love it. And the truth is, it'll work even if you don't have long hair. You can still make it with short hair. You can always, close the hole or just leave it. It doesn't matter. It's just a fun hat. Oh, she says she can listen while you work. Okay, but don't get in trouble. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Okay. Now, the other thing we did, which I was talking about this yarn, is the wedding shrug. I always want to say rug. It's not a rug. It's a shrug. Okay, and I got it close to me here because I want to turn it around and show it to you. I'm just going to turn her. Let me bring it closer in. There we go. The reason I'm doing it this way is I want you to see the back of it. Because a lot of people are like, I can't see the back. I did put some pictures on the video. There we go. Now you can see the back. Isn't that beautiful? And we used an eye hook so the stitches are nice and loose and open. And this was kind of a question or a request of someone who they're getting married this summer. And she wanted this particular one done in white. It looks kind of cream on here, but it is white. It is the Yarn Bee. She wanted it because she's wearing a wedding dress that just has kind of a lace strap. And so she wanted this for the outside reception. And then she made one also in a silver gray for her mother-in-law. Okay, and then they liked them so much they're going to make them for the bridesmaids and everyone. And the thing is, the reason that this pattern is so easy is it's really just a long rectangle, and then you put the ends together to make the sleeves, and the way that it hangs makes the sleeve. Okay, and we do it in rows, and the rows that we do make the width of it. So you can make it for a smaller person or a bigger person. Okay, depending on measuring your shoulders, how many rows you want to make. The length of it is determined. Let me turn her back around again. The length here is determined by, and those multiples are on the video, and it is determined by how many shell stitches that we do. And I really like this length. I think it's 15 inches. Because the thing is, it's not intended to be a sweater or a bolero or a cardigan or anything like that. A shrug, my snake just fell off the chair. I was going to use that for something else. We'll talk about the snake in a minute. Okay, so a shrug is intended just to sit on the shoulders with little armholes, and the little armholes can be worn like a shawl and down, or it can be up on your shoulders. It's really versatile. Okay, and it's super easy. These shell stitches are gorgeous, and this particular yarn has such a beautiful sheen to it. And Soft Secret or Simply Soft, I think, are two of the yarns that I would recommend for this. And the reason that I was talking about acrylic in the summer, as you can see, like I said earlier, this is a very thin acrylic, and I kind of call it a 3.5 because it's not as thin as a 3, but it's not as thick as a 4. And the Simply Soft is the same way. This is Soft Secret from Yarn Bee. Simply Soft, I think, is Yarn Inspirations, or is that Red or Lion Brown? I don't know, but they're just beautiful, and they have a little bit of a sheen to them, so you can see it gives it kind of an elegant look. And I just love it. And yes, I'll probably keep that one for myself since she's making all the other ones for her and her bridesmaids and stuff. And so, and the thing is, you don't have to wear it for a wedding. You know, you could wear this with your bathing suit top. You could wear it with a tank top, sundress, anytime you're going somewhere. One of the things, when I go to my church or when I go to a restaurant, library, this time of year, it is so hot outside, but you go into these places and it is freezing cold because they've got the air conditioner blasting, and it's okay, especially restaurants. It's hot in the kitchen, I understand, you know. So I bring a little sweater or a shrug. Sometimes I even keep a jean jacket with me, you know, because you get a little bit chilly. There's been times at church I've taken my husband's suit coat. I'm like, give me that, I'm freezing. He doesn't mind, he's always hot. But also with me I have Hashimoto's thyroid issues. I have thyroid issues. I'm always cold. And so I get cold quicker than other people. And so I always have something with me to keep me from getting cold. And this is a good thing to have because you can put it right over your shoulders. You can slide your arms through the holes. And also, you don't have to make into an arm, a sleeve. You can leave this open and it can just be a shawl. So it's super versatile. And if you want to make it as a shawl, just do a whole bunch more rows so that it can come down farther. It's just a super versatile shrug. I just call it the wedding shrug, but actually it can be used for anything you want it to. It doesn't have to be formal attire. I mean, it would be cute with a jean skirt and a tank top, you know. So anyway, I'm going to get a quick thing of tea. I agree, Kim. Grocery stores are cold. I get it, they have to keep the milk and eggs cold, but you don't have to keep the cereal cold, okay? You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say I always have a jean jacket, or another top around, you know, like a thin long sleeve shirt, because I'm always cold. Okay, now, I wanted to talk about the snake. He was on the back of my chair. There we go. This is Fred, and I already introduced you to Fred. Remember Fred? He's our scrap happy snake. I made him with chunky yarns. And the reason I have him out this week is because I had a lot of questions about, can I make it with two strands of medium weight number 4 yarn held together? So I've got Edna here. And she's not finished. I'm still working on her. But you can see Edna's very sweet. She's saying hello. And I used some chunky yarns and some 2 strands of medium weight number 4. Sometimes they come out a little thinner, and see, this green one is a chunky and it's kind of pulling in, and then I use 2 strands. Just stuff it a little more in that spot and it's just fine. All right, so I wanted you to see that. Once I get Edna finished, I'm going to take him outside and put him in my apple trees and my fruit trees, and I'm going to take some pictures. I love Fred and Edna. They're the only snakes I'm not afraid of because I am terrified of snakes. I tell you what, I know I love gardening, and you're like, how can you love gardening and be afraid of snakes? I am. I do want to tell you one silly story about my Maximo, my little white chihuahua, and then I'll let you go. So last week, out of the blue, Maximo started throwing up and having, diarrhea. I don't want to talk about that. I hate cleaning it up, but I was worried about him, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't change his food. I kind of mix it back and forth with a couple of different varieties of little dog food and weight control food. And I mix them back and forth. They eat the same thing. And if your dog has a stomach ache, give him some pumpkin. It can be fresh pumpkin, pureed, or canned pumpkin. And because Rosie has tummy issues all the time, I give her pumpkin all the time. And so I gave them some pumpkin. Maximo goes out, throws it up, and I'm like, what is going on? And so after a couple of days, I told my husband, I said, I think I'm going to have to take him in to see the doggy doctor because I don't know what's going on with him. Well, that afternoon, I went outside with the dogs because we have set times we go out back and I walk around to get some of my steps in. Keep track of my steps. And he darted over to the side of the patio. And I'm like, where is he going? He hadn't moved that fast in a long time. Well, there was a toad sitting over there and he starts licking this toad. I kid you not. He started licking a toad. And I thought, that is the weirdest thing ever. And so I shooed him away and I kind of shooed the toad away. Toad was about as big as my fist. And it was the cutest thing I ever saw. Okay, so I looked it up. That particular toad puts off something through its skin and dogs lick it and get high. I didn't even know this. So now when we go outside, I watch for toads and I shoo them off. And he's fine now. But he always runs out and darts over to where he thinks the toads are. And I just move the toads along and move Max along. Our dogs never go out without us. They're just, they're too old now. They're 15 and 14. And they're just too old to go outside by themselves anyway. So I just take them out. Sometimes we walk around the front yard. Sometimes we walk around the backyard, And I just thought it was the funniest thing. And I remembered my mom had a dog. She was a weenie dog. And she told me the story about the dog going out in the mint and licking the toad. Okay, where is the pattern for the shrug? Every pattern that I show you on here, you will find the link in the notes underneath this video. And on that video will be, underneath the video link, you'll find the written pattern with pictures, the link for that. And then all of my patterns are always on YouTube that I put out now. Okay, so if I showed you a pattern, the snake, the hat, the shrug, there are links underneath this video where you will find also the video for the this and that. You'll find those links underneath this video. You can click that. If you want the written pattern is underneath every single video, and it's usually the first link underneath the video. Okay? So, I don't do other people's patterns. I've had a lot of people ask me, but I don't. I don't do other people's crochet patterns. I only do my own. And so, I'm going to let you go, but I do want to remind you, tomorrow, go to the Ravelry, my Ravelry shop. That link is also underneath this video. And use the code Marching Band, no capitals, all one word, and get 25% off all your patterns not all your patterns on Ravelry, all my patterns on Ravelry. It won't work on other people's patterns. So use that link that's underneath here, and yeah, you'll get 25% off, and anything that you buy today through Ravelry all goes to the fund for my grandson's marching band fund. Now, it does, like I said, it doesn't go to all Mustang marching band. It only goes to my grandson's marching band fund. We're trying to raise $200 in a week, okay? So, and that there are no exceptions. Any pattern in my Ravelry you can purchase. You have to purchase 2 or more. You can purchase as many as you want, but you have to at least purchase 2, and you'll get 25% off with that code Marching Band. And like I said, I'm going to put a video out on it tomorrow with explains it a lot better than what I'm doing here. And so, but it starts at midnight tonight. So anyway, thank you all. I'm sorry about the snafu at the beginning of the video. I do not know what that was all about. I do not know what that was all about. Thank you for sticking with me today. And yeah, go check out all those videos. And don't forget to go check out the new Premier yarn by clicking that link underneath this video for the Premier yarn as well. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Bye-bye now.